Hi, everybody. Normally I enter from the front of the stage, but, at my age, they were afraid I wouldn't be able to climb the stairs. So we're just being more cautious this year, but I'm okay. All right, we're in the middle of a generational change as computing moves from on-premise to from lots and lots of data centers and lots of companies all over the world to a smaller number of super data centers called clouds. And interestingly enough, it means that the IT industry has caught up to all the other networked services that we run that way. For example, not everyone doesn't have their own well at their house, or we don't even have a well at Oracle Corporation. We tap into the water network. We tap into the electricity network. We take advantage of economies of scale and specialized labor and get better service at a lower price by having our water come from a utility, by having our electricity come from a utility. And we'll experience the same economic advantages, the same quality advantages as we get our data from an information utility, as we get our information technology from a data utility. Again, these utilities hide the complexity, all the technical complexity of generating electricity or running servers or filtering water. They do that all behind the scenes and deliver their service through a very, very simple device and at the other end of a simple network, a faucet, a plug, or in this case, a smartphone or a web browser or something like that. So again, IT has just caught up to the other world's networks. And everything, as you know, is becoming available in the cloud. Applications, known as SaaS, software as a service, platforms, database, middleware, but not just that, analytics, integration, all sorts of other things, delivers it as a service, and then basic infrastructure, also as a service that has been really pioneered by Amazon.com, and I'll be talking about them a lot in this presentation today and on my presentation on Tuesday. Okay. The world has changed. Our world has changed. From your point of view of IT consumers, your world has changed because the people you work with, the people you buy products and services from are different than 5 years ago. And it's absolutely stunning that our major competitors today, our number one and number two competitors today, are Amazon for infrastructure and Workday for applications. On a daily basis, these are the two companies we see, as opposed to IBM for infrastructure and SAP for applications. I mean, this is a breathtaking change. It really means people are moving from buying on-premise to buying in the cloud, and a whole new set of competitors. Oracle competes Oracle competes at all three levels of the cloud, all three tiers of the cloud. We started by offering applications as a service quite some time ago. And then we graduated on to offering our database and Java as a service, and kept on extending our platform services. And this year, and this coming year, you'll see us aggressively moving into infrastructure as a service. The third leg of the stool, where we've made, we think, incredible progress in the last couple of years in improving the quality, the reliability, the cost, and the performance of our infrastructure as a service. Some things never change. Our design goals in moving to the cloud have been the same since we decided to move to the cloud. And in fact, you can say a lot of these design goals are holdovers from before we move to the cloud. This is how we judge ourselves. These are the things we work on. We always pay attention to price, the cost. Our products and services cost competitive? Are they cheaper than what the competition offers? And there's two ways to measure cheaper. One is the acquisition price, what you pay on day one when you used to buy a server or buy a software license, or the total cost of ownership, which is a more complicated calculation, what it costs you to own and use the product over some number of years. But our goal is always to have the lowest acquisition price and the lowest total cost of ownership. Our systems, the Oracle database has to work all the time. The only way something can work all the time is make sure nothing ever breaks, which is impossible, or when something breaks, make sure it doesn't matter, it doesn't interrupt the service. That's called fault tolerant. Things are allowed to break, but everything's redundant. The faults are isolated, and the system keeps running. It's a very fundamental portion of the architecture, making sure there's no single point of failure in the system. Performance. We want to have the fastest database because we want to have the fastest applications, the fastest analytics. We want to get the information users need to them quickly as possible. And by the way, performance is very closely related to cost. If you use it takes an hour for a computer to do something, that's going to cost you more money than it takes a second for a computer to do something. The same thing. They're very closely related, sometimes called cost performance. Standards. One of the things we've learned over the years is to adhere to industry standards, that industry standards are very, very important. The SQL language for our database. And SQL's been around for a very, very, very long time. There are a bunch of new standards for Hadoop databases. There are a bunch of language standards, not just Java. Java's the most popular language in the world, but it's not the only language in the world. So we have to support things like Ruby and Node.js and PHP and Linux and Docker and all sorts of other standards are very important to users. Compatibility. We are in the process of moving from on-premise to the cloud. But this is not going to happen overnight. Even if the majority of people move the majority of their workloads and the majority of their data to the cloud, there's going to be a 10-year period of coexistence where you have data and applications in your own data center, as well as data and applications in the cloud. And it's very important that those two things coexist gracefully, that your data center and your cloud services can be used interchangeably. That when you want to move a database from your data center into the cloud, it's something that's very easy to do. You can do it at a click of a button, and last year I demonstrated you could do it with a click of a button. But more than that, you have to be able to move applications, completely intact applications, to the cloud with a click of a button. And we're constantly working on this issue of making our on-premise technology compatible with our cloud technology. Because this 10-year period of coexistence, maybe more, this period of coexistence, it's going to be very important for customers to not have one thing on-premise and something totally different on the cloud, and then the two hardly ever talk. So compatibility, which provides application portability and data portability, is very, very important part of our design goals. And security. Guess what? Our next presidential election might be decided by Vladimir Putin. You think security is important? How can one guy determine who's going to be president of the United States? By leaking emails, that's how. You know, it's funny, but it's not funny. If you don't think data security is a big deal getting bigger every day, you are mistaken. There are denial of service attacks. Imagine some of these clouds going down. what it means to your business. A little scary. Imagine the data being scraped out of the cloud. A little embarrassing and very costly. Security might be the single most important issue that we face in migrating from our on-premise data centers to these cloud super data centers. And it is, as they used to say at Ford a long time ago, security is job one here at Oracle with the move to the cloud. Security has been job one at Oracle since day one at Oracle, because our very first customer was one of those, well, it was Central Intelligence Agency. Our second customer, and they're very serious about security. They don't think Edward Snowden was a good employee. They would not rehire him. So security is, again, incredibly important to us, and we make continuous progress in making sure we have the most secure cloud around. By the way, I have about 70 slides. If I take that much time on all of them, we'll be done at 2 a.m. Okay. Oracle strategy. What do we think customers want? How do we win in SaaS? It's the same thing. If we can figure out what customers want and deliver that, customers are going to pick our stuff and buy our stuff. And we think what they want is complete and integrated suites of products, not one-off products. Customers don't want to have to integrate 50 different products from 50 different vendors. It's just too hard. It is simply too hard, and the associated security risks and labor costs and reliability problems is just too much. So our big focus is not delivering 1, 2, 3, 4 applications, but delivering complete suites of applications for ERP, for human capital management, and customer relationship management, sometimes called customer experience or CX. That's our strategy in SaaS, complete and integrated suites. In the platform, compatibility, yielding portability, we think is very important. We think we have to preserve your existing investment in database and make it easy for you to move that database to the cloud. We think we have to preserve your existing investment in applications, make it easy to move those applications to the cloud. That doesn't mean you won't be developing all new cloud-centric applications. We've got to do that too. But it's very important to protect our investment in data and applications. And customers want to be able to easily lift and shift what they have and take advantages of the economics and the superior productivity they get in the cloud. In infrastructure, and here's where, again, where Amazon's the pioneer. In infrastructure, people would like, it's a commodity. Compute is a commodity just like electricity. Basic compute, basic storage is a commodity just like electricity. When you buy commodities like gasoline or electricity, cost is important because it's not that differentiated. By the way, we think that this is more differentiated because there's all the security issues around the infrastructure, there's all the reliability around the infrastructure, but people pay a lot of attention to cost. And we have to be lower cost and higher performance at the same time against our #1 infrastructure competitor, which is Amazon. Okay, so we said that our strategy in applications is to deliver complete and integrated suites. We said our #1 competitor in the cloud and applications is Workday. And this is kind of a report card of how we're doing. Now, we have a huge advantage over Workday that we've been in this ERP business for a very, very long time. We had a lot of domain expertise. We'd been building accounting systems and inventory systems and supply chain systems and manufacturing systems for years. We then gave all of our developers the opportunity to start over and rewrite that. Knowing what you know now, after working on this problem for 20 years, knowing what you know now, rewrite all this stuff for the cloud. we'll give you a decade. Actually, that's not what I said. I said, can we get this done in 4 years? And they said, no problem. It's been 10 years. It's an enormous effort to rewrite all of our applications. And it wasn't, and adapt them, think about them differently now that they're in the cloud. It was an enormous effort. It took a lot of people a long time to do this. And by the way, you can't do that unless you have a powerful and productive platform as a foundation upon which you write these applications. And this is the problem facing any little startup. You know, Workday made the interesting decision that they were not only going to build their own applications, they were going to build their own platform. They were going to build their own database. They were going to build their own programming environment. Wow. Let me tell you, that's very hard to do. It's possible for someone like Microsoft to do that. It's possible for someone like Oracle to do that because we have thousands and thousands and thousands of developers. We have 5,000 developers just writing our horizontal SaaS applications. Forget the programming languages, the underlying platform, the infrastructure, the industry-specific applications. That's just, for ERP, CRM, and CX, part of CX. For them to take that on is an enormous challenge, and we don't think it's possible. We don't think it's possible for them to do their own platform and their own application suite. Or we think it's challenging. And look at the difference. Look at what we've accomplished. And by the way, they started arguably before we did. Okay. Next part of the strategy, that was complete and integrated SaaS. Our past strategy, compatibility and coexistence. We're announcing today that we have come out with a new set of computers, a new set of machines that are identical to what we use in our cloud. So we're taking the machines that we use in our cloud and the software that we use in our cloud and lifting it up and saying, we can install the identical software and hardware to what we use in the cloud. We can install that in your data center behind your firewall, attached to your high-speed local area network. We can do that. And by the way, we're not going to sell you the hardware. We'll treat that cloud extension of ours as just what it sounds like, a cloud extension. You don't have to buy the hardware. You don't have to buy the software. It's offered as a subscription service. Same exact price as buying the service from the cloud. It just so happens we'll put that part of the Oracle Cloud behind your firewall where it's more protected and adheres to certain statutory requirements in certain industries, and attached to your high-speed networks, your networking costs go down and your networking performance goes up. And we'll offer you that as an option. And let me tell you, that those cloud machines are more compatible with our cloud than simply running the same software as in our cloud. Now look, we're still in great shape. I mean, you run an Oracle database on-premise on your own hardware, and you can move that data to our cloud. It's compatible. The clouded customer machines are identical. Identical would be 101% compatible. So it's very easy, as easy as possible, to move loads back and forth between our clouded customer machines and our public cloud machines. But we offer 3 layers of compatibility. We offer on-premise, where you have compatible software, our clouded customer, where you have identical software and identical hardware, and of course, public cloud. Now, this is very different than what, say, Amazon offers, which is just public cloud. Compatibility and portability. These are the choices we offer you. On-premise, you can license our software. On-premise, you can license our software and run it on our Exadata database machine. And now, a third option on-premise is customer at cloud. Another thing that's interesting about about the Oracle database is it not only runs on the Oracle Cloud, it runs on Amazon. It runs on Microsoft Azure. It runs anywhere you want to take it, pretty much. So fascinating to me that Amazon has decided you really should only run their database at Amazon. In fact, if you tried to run their database someplace else, it just wouldn't work. We say, oh no, well, Redshift's open source. No, it's not. Redshift is developed by Amazon, only runs at Amazon. Once you move in, you can't ever move out. You can never move Redshift out. And if you look at the networking costs at most clouds, data center, it's very cheap to move the data in and very expensive to move the data out. Some people would call that the ultimate lock-in. Okay. Very excited about this. Look, I've got a lot of respect for what Amazon's accomplished, especially in the area of infrastructure. They were the first mover. They were the innovator in this space, and I have a lot of respect for them. But now, we're aggressively moving into infrastructure. And we have a new generation of data centers that we're building around the world. And these by the way, these things called availability domains are each separate data centers and separate buildings with separate power supplies. And we take 3 of these and we put them, these 3 data centers, this cluster of 3 data centers, and they are a cluster, we put them pretty close together, we interconnect them with a fiber optic ring, and we duplicate the data, or triplicate the data, that's probably not a word, in all of the availability zones. So if one availability zone should fail, there's no single point of failure in our region. So we have a modern architecture for infrastructure where there's no single point of failure. Faults are isolated, therefore faults are tolerated. If we lose the data center, you don't even know about it. You won't even know about it. We have an ultra-fast network that's both high bandwidth and low latency that makes it very easy for hosts within an availability zone to communicate very quickly, and then hosts in different availability zones to communicate very quickly, to replicate data synchronously. I'm not going to go into all that, but again, it's a fault-tolerant data center architecture. Second generation, leapfrogging the competition. And then we put these regions, these triplicated availability zones, we then put these regions all over the world. And by the way, and then the regions themselves are interconnected as we can move data around. And there's a new technology which I'll mention later on in the presentation called sharding, which lets you build databases all over, build a single database based on shards all over the world. And all of these data centers are interconnected. And if you have users in Europe, you're going to have much better performance if they're accessing a European regional data. And if you have users in North America, they'll be talking to a North American region. And all the North American regions will be networked together. And all the European regions will be networked together, and then the European and North American regions will be networked together. So, this is designed to get the data close to users and avoid really a catastrophic outage. And maybe this is the most interesting thing. Our new second-generation data centers offer twice as many cores as Amazon, twice as much memory as Amazon, 4 times as much storage as Amazon, and more than 10 times the I/O capacity of Amazon, but you have to be willing to pay less. You're not willing to pay less, you can't place the order. So Amazon's lead is over. Amazon's going to have serious competition going forward. And we're very proud of our second generation infrastructure as a service. We're going to be focusing on it and aggressively featuring it, not only during Oracle Open World, but for the remainder of this fiscal year and next fiscal year and the year after that. So how are we doing? Very fast business summary. This fiscal year will be the second year in a row we've sold more SaaS and more PaaS than any other company in the world. Everyone said, gee, Oracle got a late start. Well, that's even more impressive. If we got a late start and now we're selling more SaaS and more PaaS than anybody, including Salesforce.com, but more than anybody in the world. And we'll sell well over... Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a team effort. And yeah, I describe it as kind of an overnight success if you call 10 years one night. Maybe it's a night on Pluto or something like that. The more than $2 billion worth of new SaaS customers, annual recurring revenue. These are just ARR, annually recurring revenue, more than $2 billion new ARR for SaaS and PaaS this year. Things are going great in the cloud at SaaS and PaaS. We're growing faster than any other large cloud company. Much faster rate of growth. And we're not that small anymore. We did about $1 billion in the cloud last year. It's $4 billion, almost. A run rate of $4 billion. So Mark's saying, yeah, almost. Okay, I can lip read even at this distance. And the thing I'm maybe most excited about is we now have a technology advantage over Amazon and infrastructure as a service, and that is just a gigantic opportunity for us and for our customers. Okay, and SaaS, an overnight success. This is a 2006 slide. Oh my God. Wow. That's an amazing screen. I got to get that at home. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line down. Cloud was, in 2006, no one was using the term cloud. We were using the term SaaS. And we decided 10 years ago to rewrite all of our applications for the cloud, but we just called it SaaS in those days. Again, that was a 10-year-old decision. And now we're doing quite well. Again, took 10 years to get here, and we can keep making continuous improvements, adding more modules, adding more markets, more features, and more functions to our SaaS applications. And, as I said, Workday is our #1 applications competitor in the cloud. And on the ERP side of things, we have almost, 2,800, it's almost 3,000 ERP customers. And they have a little more than a couple of hundred. So we're doing extremely well. But they're not catching up. They're not catching up. It's not like they're behind us and catching. We're pulling away. We're growing more than twice as fast as they are. And way more than twice as fast. If we just measure ERP, that's twice as fast. Our SaaS is growing twice as fast as their SaaS. If you say, how our ERP is growing, I don't know, 5 times faster. The answer is I don't know. Much faster than their ERP. And we don't compete just in ERP. We also have developed, over that same 10-year period, complete and integrated suites in human capital management, and complete and integrated suites in customer experience, what used to be called CRM. And we have thousands of customers that use applications from multiple of these suites. It's not uncommon for someone to use our HCM suite and our ERP suite, and even acquire them together. We have more SaaS applications by a huge margin than any other cloud services provider. We have HCM suite, CRM suite, customer experience suite, plus lots and lots of industry suites as well. And we're constantly adding to our footprint. This year, we extended our ERP suite to public sector. So now government, things like commitment accounting, certain capabilities the government needs to use your financial and accounting software. And this thing called commitment accounting, they can't spend money unless they know it's there. Well, I think that's state and local government. I think our federal government does spend money, you know, even when it's not there. Well, I guess they count borrowing as there. But anyway, no, I don't want to talk about our deficit. That's not, I don't even have a single slide on the deficit. Anyway, we have ERP cloud for public sector. We've added revenue management. EPM, enterprise performance management, and ERP are really kind of the same thing. EPM is a suite inside of the overall ERP suite, enterprise performance management. And there we've added profitability and cost management, a new set of tax reports and tax analytics. And then we're extending our ERP suite to Brazil and other countries around the world. So there's continuous progress, continuous movement, more modules, more markets for Oracle ERP EPM. EPM, Enterprise Performance Management. We had our first releases back in 2014-15. Planning, focused around planning and budgeting. And then we got more modules available in 15 and 16, and we finished the EPM suite this year. With profitability, cost management, we put in consolidations last year, and now we have over 1,500 customers, including 100 that go live, 100 plus that go live every quarter. Very, very exciting in terms of enterprise performance management. One of the key components, planning, budgeting, consolidations, tax reporting, one of the key components in the larger ERP suite. Our ERP suite is already global. Yes, we're adding a few more countries. We're kind of finishing it off. Brazil is a very big deal, very big and important country. This is a slide that shows about 2,600 customers, but that was as of the end of our Q4. We're now, closer to, getting closer to over 2,800 customers. But we're already in 90 countries around the world. And you can see the progress, steady progress that we've made over time. And soon, soon we'll be in just about every country around the world. This surprises a lot of people, the statistic, because people kind of expect us to be way ahead of Workday in ERP, but everyone's surprised when they find out that we're adding new HCM customers at a much faster rate than they are as well. And we're constantly expanding our HCM footprint. We have a new HR help desk that came out this year, something called My Volunteering that keeps track of the volunteer efforts of your the volunteering that your workforce does. And constant expansion with more and more industry features for our HCM cloud. So the HCM cloud is doing extremely well, and we're adding HCM customers faster than any other cloud company in the world. Our customer experience suite, we have two big competitors here on customer experience. Salesforce.com and Microsoft both compete aggressively in this space. They're two large competitors. But we're constantly adding industry-specific features as we tailor our customer experience for industries. We're the leader in marketing. We're the leader in commerce. In CPQ, there are a lot of places here where we lead in sales automation. Both my, Salesforce.com is the leader. But again, we are, we're their #1 competitor. This is something we're very proud of. We really, and this is Supply Chain Manufacturing Suite. And you say, well, wow, he said, you guys are doing well here. I haven't got a Workday slide for this one, unfortunately, because Workday doesn't do this. In fact, in the cloud, nobody does this. There was a startup called Canandy that didn't work out. And we right now, it won't be forever, but we right now are the only complete and integrated supply chain manufacturing suite in the cloud, period. We were first, we are only, and we continue to innovate in this space, having every module you need, from conceiving a product, to building the product, to selling the product, to shipping and delivering the product to the customer. We handle the complete supply chain, procuring all the materials, building the materials, managing the shop floor, and looking at inventory, committing something from inventory, and shipping it. A complete and integrated supply chain manufacturing suite, the only one in the cloud. Okay, I'll stop on SaaS and move on to platform as a service. Database, middleware, but more than that. Analytics services, integration services, all sorts of new tool sets for different kinds of developers. We have tool sets for developers who want to extend and migrate their existing enterprise applications to the cloud. We have tool sets for cloud-centric developers who are developing all new applications that will only be in the cloud. And we have tool sets for business users where they can easily, without writing code, easily create extensions to our SaaS applications and even build something. I'll show you, if I have time, I'm going to show you our chatbot interface we have to our applications and our chatbot platform, how you can very easily, declaratively, no code, create chatbot interfaces to your enterprise applications. Okay. A powerful platform. It's got to be reliable, it's got to be secure, and it also has to make developers productive and people in operations productive. And we have to deal with two things. One, the creation of the applications productively and economically, and the running of those applications securely, reliably, and economically. And the foundation of our foundation is the Oracle database and Fusion middleware. But again, we have lots and lots of other pieces. And I could read the names of those pieces when I'm closer to them. Integration, mobile, content, analytics, identity management, security management. All of those things are part of our underlying platform. Again, this is the foundation upon which all of our applications are built. And the reason we're able to be so successful, I think, in SaaS these days is because of our very powerful underlying platform. They come together. And by the way, people, when they buy these SaaS applications, sometimes they want to extend them. And when you buy a SaaS application, you want to extend that application, you use the same underlying platform that we use to build the application, you use to extend the application. In 2015, I demonstrated moving an Oracle database from a customer data center and into the cloud and then running the application. And that was pretty cool. I mean, that's something that Amazon can't do. People can't, Microsoft can't do. One button, one click, move database from on-premise to into the cloud. But that was last year. This year we have this third option, which I've already mentioned, which is our customer at cloud machines. And again, I keep emphasizing, you don't buy these machines. You subscribe to the service on these machines. We install these machines behind your firewall, attach them to your network, but they're a subscription service just like the public cloud. The best way to think about this, it's an extension of our public cloud that sits on your data center floor. You pay a monthly subscription fee just like you're using a public cloud service. And the software and hardware is identical. That means that coexistence is transparent as possible. It's the same thing. You can one-click move data, one-click move applications, one-click add high availability to your applications. It's all very, very easy to do. And I'll be demonstrating some of that on Tuesday. But this is a very important part of our platform compatibility, migration, and coexistence story. The fact that we can move you from on-premise into the public cloud, but we can also have this intermediate stop where you might have all three of these in terms of how you deploy your IT. The cloud service, again, as I said, it's identical. You can't get more compatible than identical. It's a service. And we offer the infrastructure cloud machine at customer, but we also offer the Exadata cloud machine at customer and the big data cloud machine at customer. So you can get not just our infrastructure, but our infrastructure, our high-performance database, and Hadoop and high-performance big data capabilities, identical from the public cloud, identical to the public cloud, at your data center behind your firewall. Exadata. Exadata, when we first came out with it, was the machine that we sold you. You licensed the software that run on the Exadata machine, and it ran Oracle faster than any other piece of iron. And we're very proud of that. And it had all these pieces pre-integrated, so it was easier to use. It was easier to consume. It was more reliable than running on other configurations. Then we offered the Exadata service in our public cloud. So you could have Exadata both on-prem and the public cloud, and now we offer it as a subscription service. Don't have to buy it. Don't have to buy your Exadatas anymore to put them on-prem. We offer it as a subscription service at customer, which we think is economically very, very attractive and makes it even easier for you to move workloads back and forth between the public cloud and your data center. Same thing as big data. Got a big data workload, a big Hadoop workload, Spark. That's Spark with a K, not a C. Apache Spark. We will put the big data cloud machine also in your data center. Infrastructure machine, Exadata machine, big data machine, all available at customer. I'm really going to talk about this primarily on Tuesday, which is the latest version of the Oracle database 12c. The C is for cloud, release 2. We've added a whole bunch of features in release 2 for the cloud. We've made multi-tenancy more scalable. It used to be you got 256 PDBs as a part of this, and now we've increased that to 4,096. 4,096 PCBs, which gives you more scalability and lower, in other words, think of it as much lower cost. Much, much lower cost. You can manage 4,000 tenants, 4,000 container databases as one. Back them up as one. You can do that now. Not 256, but 4,000. So we've scaled up our multi-tenancy. You can clone a database while it's running. You can relocate a database while it's running. Something, like VMware live migration. Now you can you move the things around. So we added a lot of agility to our multi-tenancy capability. We've added SaaS application containers. I mentioned earlier this idea of sharding. We put sharding capability into the Oracle database. That means you can have these You can have fragments, otherwise known as shards, portions. I can't use the word partition. Portions of your, that's another meaning in database. You can have a portion of your database in hundreds, even thousands of separate Oracle databases. And there's now integrated capability inside of the Oracle database to keep those databases synchronized. A lot of people do sharding at the application layer. They actually put the sharding capability, the synchronization capability in their applications. We make it much, much easier to build a scaled sharded database inside of Oracle with new sharding capabilities built right into the Oracle databases, even though they are deployed as independent databases. And in the in-memory option, we sped up the in-memory option. We now can keep the column store in Active Data Guard, give you huge performance increases as we think more and more people are going to go to in-memory databases as memory gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. All right. We're announcing the immediate availability of the Exadata Express Cloud Service. So what is Exadata Express? Sounds small, sounds like a kind of a database with training wheels. Well, it's actually the full enterprise edition of the Oracle database with all of the options. Everything we got. Everything we got is in Oracle Express. And it runs on Exadata in the public cloud. It's available immediately. It's managed by Oracle, but you can only have it if you have $175. So if your developers want to get going, they can charge it on their Visa card and start developing Oracle applications as long as they just go into our public cloud, get the Express. It's $175 for the first month. Okay. You will see, as we develop features for the cloud, we'll also start delivering our software in the cloud first. Before we go, clearly it's going to go on-premise, but the first deployment of our database and a lot of our software now is going to go to the cloud first. We think this is going to allow us to get our software to our customers faster, and not that we have very many bugs in our software, but it's going to allow us to get a lot of experience, more experience with it, fix bugs during the cloud release before we have the on-premise release. So we think it's going to get the technology to our customers faster, let the customers consume it more economically, and then when we do deliver the on-premise version, it's going to be even higher reliability than you would normally expect from a .2 release. So we think that's the right strategy. Which is the cloud-first strategy. We think that dramatically helps our customers. I said Exadata Express is available now. The Exadata Cloud Service and the Enterprise Cloud Service and the Exadata Cloud Service are available next month, and then the Exadata Cloud Machine at Customer is available in December. Is that right? Okay. Yeah, I just say it, they do it. So it's always good when they nod, I feel a little more confident. The database services we have now start with Exadata Express, which is really designed for developers and departments and small to medium-sized businesses. Then the enterprise database service is for larger companies, and then the very highest performance, extreme performance, is on Exadata in the cloud, and is on Exadata, and that's available. So we have all of these offerings now for our database, from Exadata Express, extremely low cost, to Exadata Cloud Service and Exadata Customer, which is extreme performance. So whatever fits a customer's budget, whatever fits a customer's performance and reliability requirements. The tool sets. Again, the world is changing. We've got to preserve our existing investment in applications and data. You've got to let people move those applications and data to the cloud, and while you're moving them, you might as well make them better. So we've got to provide tools to make that very easy. Then there are a whole new group of applications that people build just for the cloud, kind of next generation applications, custom applications that people are building. We've got to provide a tool suite for the cloud-centric developers. And of course, I mentioned earlier that we have a suite of tools that make development very, very fast, visual development tools, no coding, that business users, not non-programmers, can actually extend our SaaS applications pretty quickly and pretty gracefully using these tools. There are 3 sets of tools. We're announcing today something we call App to Cloud. App to Cloud not only lets you move your database from on-prem to the cloud with a single click, it lets you move an entire WebLogic cluster, a complete suite of fault-tolerant Java applications to from your premise data center to the cloud with 1 click. 1 click. So it's really 2 clicks. Move the data, move your apps, you're done. But then, they pay me a lot, so I'm willing to do a 3rd click. And what would you like to do? Well, as long as I'm moving into the cloud, HA was, putting in high availability was expensive, it was complicated, it was important. I had to do it for some applications, but I'm not going to do it for every application. It's just too hard. And not anymore. We can now take that existing application and make it high availability, attach it to add data guard to the configuration with 1 click. This is all what we call app to cloud. More automation around the coexistence of your data center and your applications and your data without your applications and your data in a public cloud. Also, we have this thing called Stack Manager, which lets you manage your application and data together, and your entire configuration together. It lets you patch it. It lets you, lets you do everything as if it were a single unit. We're going to create the illusion that this thing, this database, this application, this network is one thing, and I'm going to now treat it as one thing. And that's this thing, and you do that with a management tool called Stack Manager. And those of you who are familiar with Amazon or do programming on Amazon will say that's what just sounds a lot like Amazon Formations. And it is a lot like Amazon Formations. Okay. So we offer enhanced tool sets for our existing enterprise customers to move, maintain, and extend their existing enterprise applications. We also have a new suite of tools for cloud-centric developers. Build this new generation of applications. And it includes what we call an API service, an API cloud service that allows you to keep track and analyze all your APIs, basically find APIs, find different services. And we offer new languages to let you write these services, sometimes called microservices. So the reason PHP is in red is that we've had Java support for a long time, Node.js support, Ruby, Python we've done for a while, PHP is new this year. But we are doing all of the popular programming languages. As I say, Java is still the most popular programming language by far, but it's not the only programming language, and we intend to support them all. The developer, and we have this thing called a developer cloud service, and that is something that kind of automates modern development techniques. It allows what's called continuous integration and delivery, automated code check-in and test if you're not a programmer. This will sound not so interesting, but again, this is the methodology that programmers use to build these applications. They have to write code, then they have to check in the code. You got lots of developers working together, and then they have to run tests to make sure that the code that they checked in actually works. And we automate that inside of our developer cloud business. And this is something that's very familiar to modern cloud developers. Also, what's become very popular amongst modern cloud developers is the Docker container. And last year, we announced our Docker-compatible container cloud service. And now we're saying it is now, we finished development. It is now general availability is as of today, and it's available in our cloud. It's completely compatible with Docker. We even publish all Oracle images, Oracle WebLogic, the Oracle database now, as Docker images. So it's kind of the source of truth for Oracle programs now as Docker images. Again, this is a very important component of this cloud developer, modern cloud developer environment. And we're also announcing today the Oracle Container Registry. It's a registry for all the different Docker container images, all your programs, if you will, all these programs that you want to be able to search and locate and reuse. We now have a container registry service inside of the Oracle Cloud. Third kind of development environment is our visual coding environment that allows people who are not programmers to program, for lack of a better word. And it's made up of, you can build mobile programs, desktop programs, you use modern UI components. It is the ideal tool for extending Oracle SaaS applications. We share the same UI components as Oracle SaaS. So your extension, when you use this tool, your extensions look absolutely the same as our SaaS applications. And so this is the tool that we use. You'll see me using a visual development environment as I create my chatbot here live for everyone to watch. And again, it is a third type of programming that we support in our cloud. Enterprise tools, cloud-centric tools, no-code visual tools. Okay. Chatbots. What are chatbots? It is using messaging, if you will, text messaging, to interface with your enterprise applications. Might sound a little strange, but you simply text with your enterprise application, ask the enterprise applications to do something for you, like it's a virtual assistant. You can think of Siri. Now, Siri you talk to, and right now I'm going to show texting version of this. But I mean, obviously, you can do these things with voice as well, and we'll do some voice demonstrations as well. But ChatSpot is using a texting interface to communicate with your enterprise applications. This might sound, if you haven't used this might sound very strange. But people who really interface with the digital world via their smart mobile phone, more and more, these people are using chatbots to do things like checking to see if their airplane flight is on time, checking in at checking in at the airline. I'm going to do something very simple. I'm going to just order some new business cards, and I'm going to show you how that application was built. But you can use it with procurement. You can use it to get analytics. You can use it to get information out of your schedule. And it's just, and I'll demonstrate in a second. These chatbots, we're announcing a new chatbot development platform. So we provide a platform upon which you can write chatbots, upon which we write chatbots. enterprise, to interface with a lot of our enterprise applications. And what I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to interface with iProcurement. I'm just going to order some new business cards, very, very simply. But again, chatbots interface with different messaging systems, like Facebook Messenger, Slack. I'm really going to talk to my virtual assistant via text messages and ask them to do something. Okay, here goes nothing. I'm going to put my glasses on, hide behind this really big screen, and I'm going to, well, I guess the first thing I do is I'm going to demonstrate what the chatbot does. And let's see. And I happen to be using an iPad, and I developed the chatbot on the iPad, and I'm using the iPad. So here we go. Hi, Larry. How can I help you? Again, if it sounds a little bit like Siri, as a virtual assistant you talk to, it is very much like Siri. Or what's Amazon's? Alexa? Okay, so let me go ahead and type, I want more reorder cards. Now let's see if it knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so it knows what I'm talking about. Shows me my card, Larry Ellison, CEO. Okay, Checked with HCM system. Thank God I didn't check my salary. That could have been really bad. It wasn't just my title that changed, folks. But I don't want to complain about that. We have some board members in the audience here. You know how I feel about that. Anyway, let me go back to the chatbot, who was much more empathetic than I think a lot of the board members. All right. Looks like your title has changed. Is that okay with you? Well, actually not, but what the heck? What's done is done. What's done is done. And I would like to order the new cards. Yes, okay. There it is, Larry Ellison, CTO. No more help on the demos, nothing, I'm on my own. Okay, would you like to make any other changes to your card? No, I'm just gonna place my order. $500 cards, that's all I'll need. I don't see that many people anymore. And it knows my address in the HCM database, so I'm gonna ship it to my office at 500 Oracle Parkway. Okay. It's going to be shipped. They'll send me a message when it's actually been shipped. Anything else I can help you with today? No, thank you very much. Unless I can change my salary back to what it used to be. All right, I mean, this is, now I could have ordered a laptop, I could have ordered an iPad, I could have scheduled a meeting. They're all, you can imagine with this kind of interface, and you can also imagine me rather than typing, talking into this, and doing that. And we're modern applications, especially, I mean, I hate the word, I shouldn't say I hate the word. Everyone says, this is what millennials are doing. This is what millennials are doing. Okay, I got it. I think what they mean are people younger than me. That's how I take it. I take that very personally. But people who were raised with smartphones interface to the world, their digital world through smartphones, and messaging, and these chatbots through messaging is becoming one of the primary ways to interface with a lot of digital services, a lot of different services. So as we build SaaS applications, as we build the platforms for developers, we have to make it easy for you to create these chatbots. This is kind of a new generation user interface for everything. So it's gonna be very, so we're gonna make it easy for developers to create these things. Now I'm not gonna show you sorry for saying I'm really running out of time. I'm so I was gonna write the whole program, but I'm not gonna do that. I promise you. I'm just gonna give you a glimpse at it. So first thing, so this is the chatbot creator. I'm gonna link to Facebook. I'm gonna use Facebook Messenger. I'm going to, right now, it doesn't check address. I'm gonna select an address check object to confirm the address, and it's now, what you're doing, and I did that very fast. And what I'm trying to show you, rather than you watch me program the whole thing, which would drive you crazy, is that you're taking a lot of objects. You're just selecting from a bunch of objects and assembling these objects into a flow, and that's how it works. You're not writing code. It doesn't look like Java. It doesn't look like PHP. It doesn't even look like JavaScript. It's a visual programming environment. It's very easy to do. Okay. I'll try to speed things up a little bit. Okay, the Content and Experience Cloud. This is to create all of our content, think, the Oracle Documents Cloud, to, collaboratively create all of this content and keep it in one place so we have so it's consistent. So all the information about our product is in one place and it's consistent. Multiple people collaborate, create this, and then we can publish this information through multiple channels. Mobile, on the web, email, e-commerce. And note that it's integrated with our marketing cloud and integrated with our commerce cloud, so that we create and maintain the content in one place, and then it's easy to find, easy to reuse, and it's one source of truth for our content. Integration, the integration cloud service. We can very quickly integrate one cloud application to another. We can integrate the Oracle ERP cloud to Salesforce cloud. We can integrate the Oracle Sales Cloud to the SAP ERP cloud on-prem. So we can do cloud-to-cloud integration and cloud-to-on-prem integration. And we have all of these integrations available inside of our cloud. And it's not unlike what I just showed you. It's a matter of taking this integration, these two people, it's SaaS, ERP, Oracle, Sales, connect those two. You don't have to rebuild that thing. So we have the Oracle Integration Cloud Service. We've done a lot of stuff in the last 12 months, so I apologize. It's taking a little longer than I planned. Okay, the Data Integration Cloud. This is being able to take data from lots of different sources and move it to the cloud to create a data warehouse or data mart or data lake. Move it to the cloud. It automatically replicates the data. It translates the data, it cleanses the data, moves it into the cloud, so you can do data analytics on the cloud. So it's lots and lots of sources, not just Oracle sources. It's Oracle applications, Oracle database, but also SAP applications, SAP Business Data Warehouse, Salesforce.com, Redshift, you name it. Lots and lots of different sources that you can combine and move up into the cloud, create a data warehouse where you can then run analytics. Speaking of analytics, announcing the Oracle Analytics Cloud Suite. This works on everything from individuals doing analytics on laptops, all the way up to the largest scale analytics on enormous databases. And we have all of these built-in visualizations, more visualizations than anybody, more data sources than anybody, and 8,000 built-in KPIs and analyses, already pre-built for you, all in the Oracle Analytics Cloud. We have moved our multi-dimensional database, the world's most powerful multi-dimensional database, to the cloud. Essbase handles enormously large databases, and now, if you, let's say, load a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet into the cloud, we will automatically detect and develop the business model. We'll detect dimensions and hierarchies. You don't have to create the model. The model is inferred from the schema that's inside of either the file or inside of the spreadsheet. That's very different than other systems like Anaplan, where a human being has to say it's this hierarchy and these attributes and these dimensions. This is all done automatically. Press a button. You have a multi-dimensional database that you can immediately do analysis on, what-if analysis on, visualizations on, and it's enormously fast. Again, it was, for the longest time, it has been the world's fastest multi-dimensional database. It's one of the foundation pieces of Oracle Financials. Oracle Planning and Budgeting is based on the Essbase technology. And again, on what Tableau is best on, which is relatively small data sets on laptop computers, we're faster and have more visualizations than they do. And then we scale, our analytic cloud suite scales all the way up to the very largest multi-dimensional enterprise scale databases. And again, you say, well, gee, I'm going to the cloud, is it as fast? No, it's much, much, much faster. Okay, big data discovery, announcing big data discovery cloud service. You know, everyone was very excited when Hadoop showed up and the whole notion of big data show up, and then we suddenly discovered we needed data scientists, that using this technology was difficult. I mean, there's real value in this data. It's just that it is rather complicated to use. And with the Big Data Discovery Cloud service, we've tried to demystify big data. We've put in a lot more automation, a lot of built-in visualizations where immediately people who are not data scientists can begin exploring large Hadoop databases and discovering patterns in the data and start to analyze the data and visualize that data. It is, we think, a breakthrough in making big data more usable and insights more accessible to mere mortals. Announcing packaged domain-specific applications built on top of what we announced last year, which is our Internet of Things cloud platform. We've now built domain-specific applications like fleet management. Where are your cars? Where are your buses? Who's driving them? When do they have to go into maintenance? How fast are they going? What freight is on board? Keeping track of your factory floor, what machines are down, what machines are being used, how much have they been used today, when do they go into maintenance? We have a lot of these. We're now not only taking advantage of the platform we built a year ago and building domain-specific applications on top of this technology that we use in our SaaS applications and our industry applications. I'm getting close to the end. Okay, machine learning. Machine learning is a new branch of artificial intelligence that has shown tremendous promise over the last few years. You know, for a long time, AI was almost a bridge too far. It was very, we weren't making progress in AI, the progress at least companies and enterprises and governments could readily take advantage of. That has changed. There's a new branch of artificial intelligence called machine learning, where computers scan data and look for common patterns in the data and actually learn from these common patterns in the data. And this is suddenly making machine learning relevant for the kind of things we do in our business. It used to be purely a research branch for Oracle. Now it's moved from research into development into deployment of real applications that use machine learning. One of the most famous machine learning applications, of course, is trying to predict purchases from consumers. And here, it's really a combination of real-time looking at all of their social activity, real-time looking at where they are, including micro-locations. This is scaring the lawyers who are shaking their heads and putting their hands over their eyes. Knowing how much time you spend in a specific aisle of a specific store and what is in that aisle of a store. So as we collect information about consumers, and you combine that with their demographic profile and their past purchasing behavior, we can do a pretty good job of predicting what they're going to buy next. Now, where does this demographic data come from? Where does this past purchasing stuff come from? Well, Oracle Data Cloud is the largest database. There are two big databases that keep track of consumers, if you will, and have a lot of information about consumers. One is very famous, it's called Facebook. The other one is less well known, it's Oracle's Data Cloud. But we actually have more consumers in our data cloud than they have in theirs. They have great data, don't get me wrong. Facebook has an incredible data asset, but so do we. And in our data cloud, marketers are able to target consumers and do a much better job of predicting what they're going to buy next. I believe 5 billion consumers are in our identity graph, 5 billion. How many people are on Earth? 7 billion? 2 billion to go. Okay, you collect all of this information, including micro-location information, what they're searching on, what they're searching on, what websites they're going to, what product comparisons they're doing. You combine that with their demographic data, their past purchase data, all of this other information we have about them, and you say, they're about to buy a Nest thermostat. And we can actually do that pretty much better than anybody. Could you back up a slide? Announcing that's called Customer Insights and Engagement Cloud Service. We have sessions, by the way, on all of this stuff, or I could just stay here longer tonight and go into more detail on all. No, I guess that's a no. That's a no. Okay, skip that. There are a lot of machine learning. There's machine learning and applications. It's out of the labs and literally being delivered to customers. Oracle Maximizer is designed to do a good job of predicting what customers are going to buy. But there's a lot of other uses for this, for machine learning. We look for anomalous financial transactions. And we can detect money laundering. We can detect fraudulent activity. We're going to detect a lot of interesting things by finding anomalous patterns in the data. We can even, as you'll see very shortly, we can even predict an assault on our cloud. Someone is doing something that they normally don't do. And we should know that. Okay, again, machine learning at Oracle now, optimizing your payment terms, optimizing your shipping, picking the best, the best shipping terms, the computer looking at all the candidates you have open for these jobs and giving you a prioritized list of those candidates based on best fit, and of course the the example everyone always uses, predicting the next customer purchase and what they're buying. Okay, I think this is my last section. Oracle management and security. We're announcing a complete new suite of Oracle Management Cloud services. So this replaces lots and lots of separate tools. It's now a complete and integrated suite of management services. Common user interface, common database, one source of truth, much easier to manage your applications and data in the cloud or on premises. We use machine learning to detect changes in configurations that you didn't suspect, which could create real reliability problems. This is opposed to a security problem. Someone changed the in infrastructure as a service, changed the version of the database. For one of the you got 10 databases, and one is suddenly a different. Maybe they intended to do it, maybe not. But we create a notification. We notify you of the fact that this change is kind of inconsistent with past behavior. We monitor. We use machine learning and scanning logs, looking at all of these logs to find this this anomalous behavior. Security monitoring. The same kind of thing, but we're looking for different kind of events. Rather than an event where someone who's running infrastructure as a service is making a change that might affect the reliability, accidentally affect the reliability of an application or a database. Here is someone who's issued a query that they've never issued before. You just would never expect this kind of query coming from this kind of user. They're looking at data they've never looked at before, or they usually look at one employee and then change something about one employee. Now they're looking at 50,000 employees all at once and collecting their social security numbers and collecting their credit card numbers. It's an unusual query. Or there are a series, or this one person is issuing the same query over and over again, thousands of them per second, looking one employee, next employee, collecting social security. That's anomalous. That's something we've never seen in the data before. We want to detect that very early on. We can identify. We have tools now that can find that anomaly, identify the anomaly. What user is the intruder? Even though they're intruding on data, they're a regular user, they're an authorized user, but they're intruding on data that they've never looked at before. And we can identify the user and in some cases issue a notification, or if this is something we've seen before, automatically we will have hardened the system and just not allow it, automatically turn it off. So as these anomalies show up, we get notifications, immediate real-time notifications that something's wrong and a human being is notified. But if we see this pattern, once we see the pattern once, we then can harden our system by never allowing that query pattern again. So automatically it will stop it from happening the second time. We'll detect it the first time, then use that detection to harden the system to make sure it never, ever happens again. It gets shut off immediately. And we're making this very important acquisition of the leading supplier of cloud access security brokers. We think this is an important addition to our overall cloud security portfolio. It is job one at Oracle. We'll keep building, and when we find a supplier out there who's done some innovative and important work, we'll buy them so we can deliver to you the best security in the entire world of clouds. And that's it. And please come back on Tuesday. Actually, come back tomorrow. Come back on Monday. But on Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the future of database, Oracle 12c release 2, and our new infrastructure as a service. Thank you all very, very much.